But so moving forward, let's flip gears and let's talk about college football playoff. So the first round of the games have been announced. The bracket is out now. And our first game we're going to get is Alabama at Oklahoma, which is a rematch. Oklahoma actually comes in as a slight favorite here. I mean, it's a game at home. But yeah, Oklahoma won this game earlier in the year, and Oklahoma comes into the game tied for first in the country in sacks with Texas A&M at 41. The Oklahoma defense comes in as the 7th ranked defense in points allowed. Oklahoma also has the second best rushing defense in the country. Alabama comes in ranked 4th in the SEC in passing yards per game, though. I mean, they kind of picked it up late in the season, and besides that Georgia game and that SEC championship, they looked pretty clean towards the end of the year. Alabama's defense leads the SEC in passing yards per game, so they have a very stout secondary within the SEC. This game's going to come down to the two defenses, but most importantly, the offenses. Which offense can make the least amount of mistakes? This is obviously, I said it later, a rematch of Week 12 where Oklahoma beat Alabama at home. So Oklahoma gets to play at home now, and we'll get to see what they have. Oklahoma's a slight favorite in this game, but so moving on to maybe the best game of this cycle of the playoffs is Miami, who is playing at Texas A&M in College Station, and Texas A&M is just a slight 3.5-point favorite, kind of home field advantage. Miami will try and settle the debate whether they are playoff worthy or not. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about them getting in over Notre Dame, but at the end of the day, they beat Notre Dame head-to-head, but they're going to have to prove it. I mean, it's going to be pretty loud if they lose this game pretty bad in College Station. But Miami comes into the game with the 6th-ranked defense in the country in points allowed, only 13.5 points per game, which is pretty incredible. But Texas A&M is ranked 2nd in the SEC in rushing. So we're going to see a big-time line matchup here between the offensive lines and the defensive lines of each team, to be honest. And Texas A&M's coming off their only loss of the season to Texas. So they'll have a sense of urgency to kind of, put some fashion on it and see if they can't steamroll Miami. But the game will be won on the line of scrimmage, that's for sure. It's between the two offensive lines and two defensive lines for sure. We'll have to see who wins that. So when you're watching, keep an eye on that, and that might tell a story for you. Who's going to have the best offensive line? Two of the best defensive lines in college football. Who's going to be cleaner on the offensive line? And that's pretty much going to win the game for them. But so then moving on to a couple of the games that people think are going to be blowouts in the playoffs, but these teams are playing for their playoff lives here, is Tulane at Ole Miss, and Ole Miss comes in as a 17.5-point favorite. Ole Miss comes into the game ranked with the 3rd ranked offense in the country by yards per game and 3rd ranked passing offense in the country. Week 4 rematch. I mean, these teams played already earlier in the season, and it's a Week 4 rematch where Ole Miss won 45-10. Ole Miss in that game was an 11.5-point favorite. This game, they're 17.5-point favorites. And, I mean, that spread is the 3rd highest spread they've had all season for Ole Miss. One of the factors that's going to play large in this game is Ole Miss obviously lost Lane Kiffin. And we'll have to see how they play for the first time since losing him. But then, so moving on to the next game of the cycle for this playoff is James Madison in Eugene, Oregon against Oregon. And Oregon comes into the game as 3-touchdown favorite. They're 21.5-point favorites. Oregon comes into the game with the 2nd-ranked Big Ten offense in points per game, and Oregon has the 2nd-ranked rushing offense in the Big Ten. Their defense is pretty stout too. They're 4th in total yards per game. So James Madison's going to have it coming towards them, but James Madison is ranked 2nd in the country in total yards allowed per game. JMU comes in with the 3rd best rushing defense behind Texas Tech and Oklahoma. It'll come down to how good actually is JMU, because we haven't really seen them play many good teams here, but they have their chance this weekend.